Welcome to Spenny and the Nets, episode 251. We skipped last week, but we are back this week to talk playoff hoops, Nets lottery odds, and much more with a very, very special guest. I told you guys I was going to have on more diehard Nets fans, and I'm a man of my word. My pickup basketball homie, Justin, welcome to the show.
What's going on, brother? I appreciate you having me. One thing about being a diehard Nets fan is there's not many of us. So it's tough ask for you. I personally only know like three or four. Now adding, I can't believe I didn't know you were a Nets fan, which is the craziest part. But hooping me for like a year. I can't believe I
I,
didn't
I
know that.
I think that's a funny story to tell the audience. So you wanna tell everyone listening like how you came to be
Yeah,
on the pod and
definitely.
how we
So
met.
yeah, there's a group of guys that we play ball with that I've known for a couple of years. Shout out McKay Park, my favorite park in the world. I've been going there forever, so a couple guys we play ball with, and that's how I met Spencer. And there's a whole group of them, shout out Fahad, Tim, Justin, all the guys, Juan, you know. So we all go out to this park and Nico, shout out Nico. So we're hooping, and the craziest thing is like during basketball, I always make obscure Nets references. Like if somebody gets a rebound, I'd be like, oh, Kristich. Like, like, or like stuff like that, or like anytime, like I don't know, like I'll throw like a nice pass and be like, J Kid, 0-1. Like I'm just like, so I don't know how it slipped, but all of a sudden, you hit me up a couple weeks ago or whatever, and they were like, yo, in the group chat, I think we were talking, like, how did I not know you were a huge Nets fan? And we break out into a mini Nets conversation, and next thing you know, you tell me you have this podcast, and I was like, whoa, like people do Nets podcasts? Like that's awesome. Like, because like I said, it's just such an obscure our fan base is so odd because of the journey of our franchise. Um, that it's just rare to meet Nets fans. So it's wild that we slipped that. I wear a lot of Nets gear to play both. You never noticed, dude? You never noticed any of my Nets shirts playing?
I'll be real with you and you shout out at everyone. Shout out Carlos. Carlos is a
Oh,
G.
shout
I
out
keep
Carlos,
seeing
big
him.
Carlos.
Um, yeah, man, it's funny. Like I've talked with Tim and Justin, other Justin. There are two Justins we play with for the audience. The guy on the podcast is one of them, but the other two guys are Rockets and Knicks fans, and they always talk about it. So I
Yeah.
don't like also like you said, there aren't a lot of us. So when I
Me
meet
and
a new
Justin go at
person,
it a lot. The other shout out to Justin. We've gone at it Nets Knicks in the past, like and stuff
I
like that. So I just
I
can't believe it slipped because I one thing I do is I defend the Nets whatever honor it is that we
as
have.
you should,
And I
as you should.
definitely defend our honor against, the Knicks of all people because we're gonna get into it. But if you're a fan that's around our age, by any objective measure, we've had more success than they have. And like I don't care, I don't want to hear it. Like from any Knicks fan at all. Like I'm sure we're gonna dive into it, but I always hold that down because I just, Knicks fans are, they're loud and they think that because there's a lot of them that does something. But objectively speaking, in terms of just playoff performances, I've seen my team play in the finals twice. I don't think any Knicks fans my age have seen their teams in the finals. Things like that, like objective basketball measures. So I always feel the need to let it know. But it's great to, that you do this show and it's great I'm happy to be on, man. I can't wait.
Listen, man, pick up hoops brings people together. Nets fans coming together. It's the best of the both worlds. So
Oh,
we're gonna
definitely.
talk we're gonna talk playoffs, but we'll definitely get to some Nets, and I think that's a good place to start. It's Monday night. This is coming out on Tuesday morning, so we're not gonna talk about the games happening tonight. So we'll skip over Detroit and Orlando. But that I mean, you brought them up. Let's talk about this Knicks Hawks series, right? Game 5, MSG. It's become a best of three series. That game is tonight, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Yeah, I mean, what a series this has been, right? I think Knicks fans thought after the game two slip up, game three would be a breeze. They lose game three. All of a sudden, it's panic mode. Saturday's game four was the most important game for Knicks fans in the last, I don't know, decade, would you say?
Yeah, probably. Maybe that game one against Indiana last year was pretty big too with the bounces. But yeah, pretty much because the backs were against the wall. At least that Indiana game, they knew if they lost, they had a
Well,
series.
yeah, I mean, you lose game four, you're down 3-1, you're probably losing this series. And to go out in the first round when you're a team that had championship aspirations, that's a really tough look. So I wish we got there. We didn't. The Knicks tied it up in game four. They played a flawless basketball game aside from Brunson really not playing too well. Cat had a triple double. OG continued to play well, and the Knicks kind of punched the Hawks in the mouth in Game 4. So that brings us to Game 5. I mean, what are your thoughts on this series so far, and looking ahead, who has the edge right now?
I mean, unfortunately, to answer your second question, the Knicks have the edge. I hate admitting that, but it's just the Hawks just suck, dude. Like I'm just watching them. They play. They don't hit threes. They look soft. They have like a weird mismatch of guys. I mean, CJ McCollum's like their late game go-to scorer. It's just like it's terrible. But I just hate watching the Knicks play basketball, and it's not even just like a me hating the Knicks thing. It's really just stylistically, I cannot stand the way that they play, dude. Like Brunson just dribbles around, hawks for a shot, throws it out last second to someone in the shot clock. And it's just like it's a boring brand to watch. I'm like, I really just can't stand that guy. Like, I think McCollum called him a Broadway actor. He's definitely a Broadway actor. He's always flopping, flailing. He gets hurt more than anybody. He does not deserve the nickname Big Body Brunson. That's too tough of a nickname for someone that's that soft. And I mean, I've gotten a lot of slack for this, but I stand on my ground on it. He's basically to meet Cam Thomas with a better supporting cast and his dad on a coaching staff and just more free reign. Like, I don't see like why Cam Thomas, if not given that same situation with that same supporting cast, like, hey, you can dribble 17 seconds all you want. You could shoot anytime you want. Like, I don't think that there's some sort of massive talent gap between the two of them or that there's anything drastic, but the Knicks are going to get through this series, unfortunately, because the Hawks are terrible. And I'm just really concerned that like the rest of the East isn't that good. And they might like, it's just, I've been nervous about this all year because I just do not want to see them in the finals. And I'm hoping the Hawks find a way to pull it off. Like I said, I have no problem being open about my hatred of the Knicks. I'm openly rooting for them to lose. I'll probably be wearing a Hawks shirt tomorrow. I have a Trae Young Hawks shirt that I bought to specifically troll Knicks fans. So like I'll probably be wearing that tomorrow, dude. And like if the Hawks can just not turn it over as much as they did on Saturday, because there were spurts where they were getting into the game, but as soon as they did, they would turn it over two, three times and they couldn't get into a good flow and they cannot shoot 10 for 41 from three again, dude. Like they have to figure out a way to hit threes, whether it's Nickel Alexander in the corner. He's got that like little money corner three. They got to find a way to get some more of those. Maybe not as much CJ McCollum isolations. Like that's a major problem. I also think they lost a little something when that Jalen Johnson kid turned his ankle. I think that was in game 3. He was
Yeah.
slicing them up before that. He was getting into the paint. He was getting lays. He hasn't been as aggressive since that injury. So I don't really see the Hawks being a factor. I think that the playoffs will really start for the Knicks the next round. And it's just scary, dude, because if you look around and you see like the Cavs and the Raptors are 2-2, it looks like the Celtics are handling business, but I don't really have faith in the Celtics against the Knicks, to be honest. The Knicks already waxed them last year, and everybody's like, oh, Tatum got hurt. Like, they were up 3-1 already. It was a blowout. Like, it was over, dude. Like, so I'm concerned, man. I don't know how you feel, but I'm worried about this.
Yeah, I've been too worried about the Knicks championship to back down now in terms of this series specifically. I think it goes 7. I do think the Hawks are going to get one of the next two, whether it's MSG or in Atlanta.
Please.
And then, in a game 7, anything can happen, right?
That's
And
what we're
and then the
hoping
threes,
for.
if you're in a game 7 as the 6th seed, you're playing with house money, knowing that this series should have been 5 or 6 games. So I think Atlanta can push it to 7. What I find really interesting is a few years ago when the Hawks beat the Knicks, Trae Young was the villain, right? And he was a good villain, like rolling dice on the court, talking shit to the fan base, fucking excellent. CJ McCollum is such a nice dude.
Yeah,
It's almost,
did you see him after game 2? Like, he's like, I'm a dad. I've
but
been in the
Justin,
league
it's
for a while. I'm like,
almost worse. It's almost like I kick your ass and I'm like, dude, great effort. Like, we both tried our hardest. It just, it almost sucks to get beat by a nice guy like that because if you're a Knicks fan, you can't say anything. You just got waxed by 34-year-old dad guy, CJ McCollum. Like, come on.
but ever since they switched hard onto him, it seems like he just hasn't been the same. He was going off those first couple of games, and I don't know what's going on with him from the free throw line either. He can't make a free throw. in a big
Yeah,
moment. So
that
like I
game
just,
one or the game
you know,
two, he
I
missed the
hope.
two free throws. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's been missing some throughout the series too. Like even last game, every time they were getting a little run, he get fouled, like one of two. Like he's got to make
Yeah.
those for momentum purposes, man. And like, I'm hoping that what you said pans out. That the Hawks get one of these next two, but it's just like I said, I don't know because I feel like they had a great opportunity up 2-1 with a home game to really like put that press on them. And like now if they lose in the Garden and they go home, like Atlanta's really just like New York South. Like that crowd's gonna be 60-40 Knicks. Like so it's scary, dude. Because like I said, I don't really have much faith in the rest of the East. Like you look at a Detroit, they're struggling with Orlando. Like I said, Cleveland is 2-2 with Toronto. Like it's just like ooh, shaky.
Yeah, no, I see. I wasn't as concerned after the Hawks game four loss, just because the NBA is a pendulum, right? Like it's hard to win three games in a row. The fact that the Lakers did that to the Rockets, I thought was no one saw that coming. So for me, the Knicks are too good of a team to just lay down and lose that game four. And I think they brought it to Atlanta, but that's the playoffs. It's a heavyweight fight. You're going to take punches. Um, and in that Knicks game, like I know you hate the brand of Jalen Brunson running around trying to get shots. Yeah, he took 18 shots. OG Anunoby took 16. Karl Anthony Towns took 10. Josh Hart took 10. A lot more guys got involved, and the Knicks were moving the ball a little bit more. And that to me is when they're the scariest. When it's
Well, when
not
he came
Brunson
out, they
isolation.
played a lot better. I'm just, like
Yeah.
just and that just tells you a lot. Like when he came out of the game, it looked like they were like, "Oh shit, we get to touch the ball now!" Like, wow, look. And like you said, that kind of brings out the a better version of them because the rest of those guys' basketball DNA is to pass and share the ball and play within a system. They all come from teams where they had success and made deep playoff runs on other teams that played that style of ball, whether it's OG in Toronto, McHale in Phoenix, or Karl Anthony Towns in Minnesota. So they come here and they play with, like one of the high school kids at McKay. I'm just gonna pound the air out of the ball, like, until there's nothing left. Shout out Chase. So like, dude, like, like it's not how you win in the NBA. And like you said, like he came out and they look like a new team. I mean, Karl Anthony Towns is getting a triple double and throwing backdoor cuts. Bridges looked like he actually wanted to play basketball for the first time since, he was with us, it seemed. It was just crazy. So I don't know. I'm hoping that Brunson continues to play his style and just pound the ball into the ground because over the course of 3 months, 2.5 months, like you said in the NBA playoff pendulum, I just don't think you win that way. And also the history of the league is not very kind to little guards that don't play defense at all as your leading guy winning championships. It just isn't. So I'm just hoping that that all stays true. And just praying that whoever comes out of the West is ready to smash them if they somehow make it through, because it's scary.
Two comments before we move on from this game. Number one, the clip of Brunson and his dad arguing. Look, we get it. You're a nepotism baby. All right. Your dad was a coach. That's why you're in the NBA. That's why you're successful and this big time player in New York. It's because of your father. So stop arguing with him during the game. He's not the head coach. Go have a conversation with Mike Brown. It's sad. All right. The last time me and my dad argued about my performance was when I was 12 years old in Little League. Get the fuck over it. You're 20, whatever years old. Stop talking to your dad during the game. That's number one. Any comments on that?
It's ridiculous. I mean, dude, like, what are we watching? It's like LeVar Ball's fever dream. Like he's getting to scream at Jalen Brunson and Brunson's arguing back with him. And then the worst part is freaking I think it's Dwayne Wade on the telecast or something, and he's like, "That's a coach talking to a player first and foremost.
It's a
Not a
dad
not
talking
a
to his
father
son.
and a son." And I'm like, word, that's the same as Bronny talking to Bron right now. That's
Same exact thing.
like, dude, what are we really talking about? Like I said, if Cam Thomas dad, he got to coach the Nets maybe, and he got to shoot every shot, and maybe we had a better cast, we might look a little different too. But you know, like I said, no one ever talks about it though, because it's Brunson and he's the man, and oh my God, we love him. It's
And he's got
amazing
the
the story.
podcast, the
Like
coolest,
it. And how did
podcast
his
with
dad
Josh Hart.
survive a coaching regime change? His dad had I mean, we even heard DiVincenzo come out, and DiVincenzo had issues with his dad, and they've been friends since college.
Yeah,
So
that's
like, if you find out one of
crazy.
your
That's
college friends'
crazy.
dads, like that's like terrible. Like your college friends' dads are usually really cool. Like I love all my college friends' dads. I'm not going to any of
You
those guys.
you think there was pushback from Mike Brown when Is it James Dolan and who's the guy? Who's the decision maker? Is it Scott
Leon
Perry or
Rose.
Leon Rose? When Leon Rose was like, "Listen, you can choose your staff, but Rick Brunson's got to stay."
I think Mike Brown looked at them and said, "Okay, sure. What's Rick's number? Let me give him a call. Let me make him feel warm and fuzzy." Because Mike Brown is a stiff. I can't stand that guy either.
Oh man, I think he was fool's gold in Sacramento, but that's just me.
I think
The
he's been
second
fool's gold
comment,
forever.
agreed. The second comment, how funny was that game three with Mikal Bridges and then the game two where he missed the game winner? I mean, it's like when he plays like he's been playing outside of this game, it is every Nets fan's wet fucking dream for him to poop in his pants during this series.
I think the funniest part about the whole situation is that when you hear Sean Marks, I think it was last year, say like, yeah, like I didn't even negotiate. They just offered 5 first-round picks, and I just said yeah before anybody had a chance to fucking say no. Like the Knicks were just like, "Hey, dude, you want 5 first-rounders for Mikal Bridges?" And it's like you said, it's funny for all us Nets fans, but like also from like a serious basketball standpoint, it's literally held up the Knicks from getting Greek Freak for about a year and a half. Because if they have those assets and those picks, that Greek Freak trade is probably done like a year and a half ago when all the drama first starts and persists. But because Sean Marks, whatever dirt he has on Leon Rose or James, what I mean, Sean Marks must have a lot on a lot of people because he survived so long. So he clearly knows some secrets, maybe something with the government. I don't know what Sean Marks has, but there's something going on. Him, Joe Tsai, whole other world there. Um, but the fact that, I mean, like you said, when we see Bridges put up literally zero points in a playoff game, or catch the ball for a game winner and look like he literally had no idea what to do with it. Like he was looking around and trying to throw that ball to somebody until he absolutely had to shoot it. And the funniest part is he ended up with a shot that like he actually kind of makes. Like with the Nets was like a good shot. If we got that shot with Bridges, I'd be like, all right, cool. Like, yeah, but he just did not want that ball, dude. So like you said, it's definitely fun but I just hope it continues and that, we see him. It'd be great if he like really flames out, like a zero spot, like a game seven or something.
I mean that would be great. And we have two more, at
Yeah.
least at least two more games in this series. I think it's kind of crazy that part of the reason why the Nets big three didn't work out was because of the fact that KD and Kyrie were boys. So the offseason that the Nets really wanted KD, they kind of had to take Kyrie, right? And it wasn't necessarily a bad thing at the time. We all loved it, but those two guys were going to play together. So whether that was Brooklyn, whether that was the Knicks, they had to come together. They were a package deal because they're boys. They bring in James Harden. You know the rest of what happened. Several years later, when the Knicks are trying to build a contender, they make a basketball roster decision based on what, Justin? Friendship, not analytics, not basketball, not, listen, I'm not saying Mikal was terrible with the Nets, but not for that price. There's so many other moves you could have made to make this roster better. And because Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart and DiVincenzo knew Mikal Bridges in fucking college, let's make a deal for him. Let's Jalen Brunson's our guy. Let's get him more comfortable. And you could have saw what the Nets did a few years before that and said, maybe we shouldn't make a move based on the fact that these guys are friends. That shit rarely works out. It just doesn't. Yeah, you had the big three in Miami. That was different. LeBron James and Mikal Bridges are two different guys. That made sense to build that team. So I don't know. I mean, if it doesn't work out with this roster and they have to make changes, every Knicks fan is going to point to that deal and say, "Listen, Leon Rose was flawless aside from that, but that was the deal that broke the Knicks."
Yeah, and I got to give it to Brunson, as much as I can't stand him and I hate his style of play. Shout out my college friends. You guys ain't got shit on Brunson, man. This guy hooks his boys up. Not only does he get them jobs in the biggest city in the country, he gets his boys paid. He gets them contracts. I mean, Bridges got an extension. Hart got an extension. Like, even DiVincenzo, he got traded. He's like, bro, don't worry. You're going to get paid, brother. I got you. Like, that's a real friend. So got to give him props there. But like you said, man, a lot of these friendship-based decisions in the NBA don't necessarily work out. I mean, like even the big three in Miami, like it kind of worked, but it really like didn't to the point where it was
Yeah.
supposed to. Like if you would have told those guys that they were gonna finish with 2 rings when they signed when LeBron's 25, D Wade's 27, and Bosh is 27, like they would have probably like, okay, yeah, two. Like, dude, they were done in 4 years. Like, it's not those things are like you got to really build a team organically. And I'm a big believer of like, not everybody on a team has to like love each other and like each other to win, dude.
Right.
Like, I just finished, I'm a big reader, I'm a nerd. I just finished reading this book about the Seahawks teams from, our college era, Richard Sherman. Why those guys fucking hated each other, dude? They're probably one of the best football teams I've ever seen in my life. Like, dude, they went out there every Sunday for 4 years and kicked people's asses. And they would fight in the locker room. They had guys getting with each other's. I mean, wild stuff, dude. It's a good read. You should check it out. But like, dude, you don't have to like get along and love everybody in your locker room to win. Which is why to your point about the whole Kyrie KD thing. And obviously, I'm sure on your podcast you probably discussed it ad nauseum. But me being my first time on here, the one thing I'll say on that, because I'm sure you could get lost in a tangent about that whole freaking thing. But the one thing I'll say about that is that it was the right move at the time, and we had everything right, dude. And literally, like, I don't care what anybody says. COVID messed that shit up more than anything, dude. Like,
Sure. Yeah.
if it wasn't for COVID, like, people don't want to say that. And you know what? If I got to be the guy that brings the truth and the honest to Spenny and the Nets here, I'll do it. But it's literally that COVID bullshit. And knowing what we know now, it makes it even worse and more
Yeah.
sickening that Kyrie wasn't able to play those games because you can say whatever you want about the guy, but he has every right to protect his body and stand on what he wants to stand on. And they tried to force him to do something, dude. And it's kind of crazy when you look back on it. And I'm sure it's going to be studied, for years to come. And the other thing I'll just say on that is that the most devastating thing, and I found this out recently, and I think I texted you about this, was that, the KD toe on the line, which I'm a Mets, Nets, and Jets fan, so I've experienced a lot of sports heartbreak, but that one is firmly in my top five, no question. And I found out a few weeks ago that KD wears a shoe size one size big for
Yeah.
comfort purposes. What a fucking asshole, man. If he just were a proper shoe size, I would have been able to join 76 other Nets fans on some obscure street in Brooklyn and had a celebration in a parade, man. There would have been as many Nets staffers probably as fans, but it would have been great.
I think it's closer to like 80, but yeah, give or take a few guys.
Shout out Evan Roberts, man.
Evan Roberts, Marash, Sean Marash is a Nets fan.
Me and Marash have issues though, so you know what? I
Do
don't, I don't.
you?
I think he's a
He's
fake Nets fan.
he's my guy.
I think he's a fake Nets fan, dude.
Marash and me are cool. I like Marash.
We gotta get him on Spenny in the Nets. I gotta talk
He's
to him about
he's
this.
he's been on the show once or twice. Roberts hasn't, but yeah, I mean they're few and far between. So like the Nets fans in radio, I gotta have some kind of a
Oh
allegiance
no,
to.
yeah, of course, I get that. And listen, if I was,
Yeah,
like I said, I'd love to talk to him too because I think similar to a lot in American culture, I'm sure he and I would have more in common than
yeah. No,
than
he
than
he's a good
differences.
dude.
But
I
there's
also don't
there's
think they
been
get
some
to
things
talk
he
about it a
said
lot.
though that have made me question where he
Oh,
truly lies.
okay. All right. All right,
So
Maresh, you're on the record for potentially being a fake Nets fan for my guy Justin. Okay. All right. Former guest and a current guest. I get it. Two more series in the East I wanted to cover. You brought it up before. Celtics, 3 games to the 76ers, 1 game. That was weird for them to try to bring Embiid back and then like force feed him the ball. That was such a bad game plan coming off that game three wasn't awful. I don't think they got destroyed in game three. Pritchard hit a big shot down the stretch, but then game four, if anything, bring back Embiid for vibes. Don't necessarily run the offense around a guy who hasn't played in over a month.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, just the Embiid situation overall is kind of weird because he's probably like one of like the most what if superstars ever, just because of all his injuries. And the craziest thing is like it's not like it was one injury ever with that guy. It's always just something. Um, but I'm not even gonna lie, man. That's a series that I haven't even really been paying too much attention to because I just never thought Philly had a chance. I hate both teams, obviously, but I just really haven't thought Philly had a chance. And I'm still disgusted with us, particularly for when we traded Harden for Simmons, that we didn't
Yeah.
demand that Tyrese Maxey was included in that deal. Because I know that we negotiated on it, but it should have been a deal breaker because they had to make it happen. Philly had to get Harden. And if with their feet held to the fire, I think they would have done it, but I don't think Sean Marks pushed hard enough. and it just really hurts every time I see him because I think he should be a net. I firmly believe that. I don't know how you where you stand on that, but I think we should have held really firm for him.
I blame Marks for making that deal. I thought that deal should have single-handedly lost Sean Marks his job that next season. Um, but Marks is very close with Cy. Cy has a loyalty to Marks that none of us will really understand, and maybe it is. I don't know why Sean Marks has had such a long leash to get those 5 first-round picks last year to be in this position to get a lottery pick this year. But yeah, to me, that is the worst value trade I think since the Paul Pierce, since we gave up all those picks to Boston,
But dude,
is
even though we gave up all those picks, at least we got like a playoff win out of it. I think we got two. We
right.
got two
Yeah, no,
serious
no, yeah,
wins. We beat
we,
Chicago and we beat Toronto, I think, in the
yeah,
one in the
yeah,
first round. We lost in the
we
second round
got
twice.
we got a shell of Ben Simmons for a
Like,
James
dude, at least
Harden
we
who was
got
still in his.
something. Like, at least we advanced to, the final eight in the league, bro. Like, with Ben Simmons,
Yeah,
you said we got a shell. So, I mean, but, to your initial point, though, with the whole Embiid thing, the Philly thing, their window is clearly closed with this current core. And they should probably look to deal Embiid and just build around Maxey and Edgecombe.
yeah.
Like I said, that's a series that I think the Celtics are clearly a class above them. And, I was surprised Philly even got the one game. I thought that would be a sweep. It looks like
No,
Tatum.
Maxey and Edgecombe in game two went off. I think they both had 30 plus, or I know Edgecombe had a 30-10 game as a rook.
He's who I
They're in
wanted
a
last
weird.
year.
What'd you say?
He's who I wanted last year.
Oh, he's who you wanted last year. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
I mean,
wanted Edgecombe.
I wanted 6 or 7 guys before the guy we took, but that's another story. Yeah, the Sixers are in a weird they have a weird roster in the sense that you got to move on from Embiid and Paul George, but you have these two really exciting players in Maxey and Edgecombe. Um, I think if you have a healthy Embiid for this whole series, it might be a little bit different. I also, again, I don't understand why you decided to when Embiid wasn't a massive part of your game plan for the first 3 games or 4 games. Game five is when you decide to it just didn't make sense to me. I think this is a good warm up series for Boston. I think. I
Definitely. Yeah,
think
that's a good way to put it.
it's a good warm up series for Boston. I think they're going to handle them probably they're probably win this series in five. I disagree that the Knicks will beat the Celtics just because they waxed them last year. If those two teams meet, I think the Celtics are out for fucking blood. I think they're out for revenge. Um,
Well,
you know,
before I
yeah,
touch on that, just one final thing on Philly because I think it's
yeah.
hilarious. I don't know if you caught a couple weeks ago, but Paul George, I think he went viral for those comments where he's like, "Yeah, my job is to set picks, hit a couple shots, set up other." Basically, he's describing himself as Carlos at McKay, getting paid $40 million. Saying my job is to hit a couple threes, set some guys up. I thought that was hysterical, bro. Like Paul George is getting paid $42 million a year, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm just trying to, fit in." So I just Philly's a joke. I love him. Philly's a
If
joke.
anything, Juan's setting the screens.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Like he's a joke. I'm a huge Mets fan, which they're a disaster too, but at least I feel good the Phillies have the same record as us. Like anytime Philly sucks, I'm happy with that. But dude, I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to Boston's gotta prove it to me, bro. Because last year, I still feel burned from last year because they made me root for them, dude. And when I have to root for the Celtics, I'm not happy already. And not only do you make me root for you, but you got fucking destroyed by the Knicks. Dude, I have to see them prove. And dude, I hate admitting it. But the Knicks are the one team because, like you said, Leon Rose has made a lot of good moves. Like he has, and he constructed his roster to specifically beat that Celtics team. It's pretty
Right.
clear. And last
Which
year,
they
the
did.
playoffs exposed that. Yeah, I've pointed that out to multiple people, and they're like, "Wow, yeah, you're right." Like they have multiple rangy, athletic perimeter wings. They have big guys down low who initially were brought in to match up with KP and Horford. Now Boston doesn't really have a big time presence down low, so I'm afraid that could be a big cat series. I know he's a popular target for Knicks fans, and they like to shit on him and stuff, but he's another guy. If he's in net, we would love him. He would be adored. We would love Cat if he was in net. If he was in net,
The
these
big
Knicks.
bodega.
Yeah, we would. He would have his own fan section at the guard. I mean, we embrace our own, unlike the Knicks fans. But you know, they're they're built to beat Boston, so it's just scary. Like you said, I know there's the revenge angle and all that, it seems like Joe Mazzulla is an absolute psychopath, which I like. I mean, the fact that he arranged a game between his assistant coaches and journalists that covered the team and told them like press, humiliate them, win by 70. Like, I wish that got more pub. Do you remember that story in the preseason? Did you hear
I
about
do, yeah. No,
that?
I'm
Was
a
amazing.
Missoula guy, yeah, and he's
Yeah, that
also
was
not as
so funny. Like,
horny.
how petty do you have to be to do that? Like, yeah, like come get destroyed.
I'd rather my coach be a psycho like that than be horny like the Patriots head coach or the Patriots owner or the old coach of the
Ooh.
Celtics. Like, give me a guy
Diana
who just
Rossini,
cares about
Shout out
basketball.
Diana Rossini, Bergen County girl. I've seen
Yeah,
her around this area before, bro.
that's
I've
crazy.
ran into
Shout
her at
out.
Paramus Park Mall, and I'm like 88% sure I saw her golfing last year at Valley Brook in Rivervale. 88% sure it was her.
I'll give you the 88%.
No Vrabel though.
No Vrabel. Yeah, no, I'm a Missoula guy. I have a feeling, man, like something is gonna go wrong for the Knicks. If they're able to get past the Celtics in round two, then yeah, they're beating the winner of Orlando, Detroit, Cleveland, Toronto.
Yeah,
No
that's
doubt about it.
horrifying. That
Yeah.
group there is horrifying. Like
Yeah.
Detroit don't have it, dude. They're struggling with
Yeah, Detroit's on
Orlando.
the verge of going
Cleveland
down
is,
what it
like I
be.
said, Cleveland is 2-2. They have
Yeah.
Harden. Harden's always liable for just an absolute playoff collapse. If he has to do a playoff series in New York, you damn well know he's got spots that he acquainted himself well with from his time here. He'll be there more so than he'll be getting ready for hoops. It's scary. So I'm really hoping, I'm hoping Spence, what you're saying comes true, and that Boston comes out for revenge and they're ready to go. But it's scary. So let's hope that your initial prediction that the Hawks find a way to win two of these next three somehow and just do the dirty work for us, bro.
Yeah.
They got to do the dirty work for us, man.
I think they will, man. I have a feeling they're gonna push it. I think they're gonna push it to seven. I can't tell you what's gonna happen in game seven. I picked the Knicks in six before the series started, was
What
my
do you think
prediction.
happens
So
tomorrow night before we move on from the East and all this?
I think the Knicks will win tomorrow. If anything, the Hawks will grab game six. I can't see the Hawks winning two in a row at MSG. You know what I mean? Because they
Yeah, it's
won
tough.
game two. So if they won
You
this
know,
one, it'd be two in a row.
the only way I could see the Hawks winning tomorrow night, and again, I'm not even trying to be like funny or anything. I could just see it being one of those wacky Knick playoff games that maybe like the Knicks are up 6 or 8 with like a minute 30 left,
They
and
blow it.
like Nickel Alexander hits a three from the corner, and maybe someone gets an inbounds pass or a steal. Brunson dribbles into three people and turns it over. Something like that. But like I said, I'm hoping, dude, because I can't see the Knicks in the finals, man. I've been through a lot in the past few years, man. I've had to see the Patriots go to the Super Bowl a bunch of times, to see the Bills all the time. I've had to see the Braves and Phillies and Nationals all in the World Series in the last 7 years. I go through a lot, bro. It's a lot, man. I've had to see the
I
Celtics.
see what's funny with me and the last we'll get to the Cleveland Toronto series. We don't even have to talk about the West. I think I just want to stick to the East in this episode. But I don't have an issue with that. So I went to college at UMass Amherst, right?
Oh, nice.
2011 to 2015. What happened in 2011, 2012?
Victor Cruz.
Victor Cruz, the New York Giants, Super Bowl against the Patriots. I watched an entire campus riot and punch each other in the face and climb trees because the Patriots lost and the G-men won. So to me, like Sox, Celtics, Patriots, you can have all the other shit. I was there when your city burned because a team from New York beat your ass.
You're a Giants fan?
Die hard Giants fan.
Or yeah,
So for
yeah, yeah.
me, like, yeah, the Celtics won a few years ago. It didn't bother me as much. What it would absolutely destroy my mental health, and I might have to check myself in somewhere. Hoping my wife doesn't hear this. If the Knicks were to win the finals, I don't think I can recover. I'd call out of work sick. It would be a big deal.
That would fuck me up too. In full transparency, I would say that a Braves or Phillies World Series again would really tip me over. Probably more. Yeah, it's bad, dude. I really can't stand those teams. Like, I really think I think like their owners are involved in some bad stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think bad things about those teams. I really hate them. But like a Knicks championship would be up there, and I'm just surrounded by so many Knicks fans. I know we all are as Nets fans, and it sucks because they're just they're brutal, and they especially as you have Marash on your show, so you're an FAN guy. You hear the Knicks callers that call FAN. It's ridiculous, bro, and I can't take it. So like you said, I totally get where you're coming from. a Knicks championship would send me into it'd be like Brain Stew, the Green Day song.
What sucks about our generation too is like the Nets moved what? In what year did they move to Brooklyn? Was it 2009, 2010?
2010, 2011 was our last
20,
season.
all right, so 2011, me and my friends were just about to go. So okay, by that point, I guess all my friends who were Knicks fans knew they were Knicks fans. But I'll tell you this, I had some friends who were like very casual Nets fans, right? Not diehard like you and me, but they, if they had to choose, they would have chose the New Jersey Nets in high school, and every single one of those kids started rooting for the Knicks once the Nets moved because their allegiances weren't that strong. So it's like that move, they were like, oh, well, I'm not gonna fucking root for the Brooklyn Nets, I'll root for the Knicks, and that
Well, that's one of
sucked.
the things that's bothered me the most about our fan base in general is the fact that we lost so many fans by moving 6 miles away. I think that Nets fans greatly exaggerated that move and the impact that it had on anything. Because, like, all right, dude, like, is it a bitch to get to Brooklyn sometimes? Yeah. All right. Like, I
How
love
how
going to
much how
games.
much longer does it take to get to Brooklyn than parking at Continental and go, like probably not that much longer when you
That's
when you
exactly what I was gonna
yeah.
say, bro. Like the last couple of years when they were playing at Prudential, right? Like you're in Englewood, you're local around here.
Englewood, and I grew up in Riverhead, so I've always been in
Exactly. Yeah.
that
So
Bergen
I'm
County
in Teaneck,
vicinity.
dude. Like getting to Prudential for a 7 o'clock tip, if you're leaving at 5:30, you're sitting in rush hour traffic. You're sitting in 45 minutes. By the time
Yes.
you park, you get there. Dude, it's the same shit going to Brooklyn, bro. Like, and honestly, sometimes you get back from Brooklyn quicker.
Yeah.
And the Barclays is in a safer and nicer area than the Prudential Center is.
Hey,
The
my
angle sign
dad
of the
my dad
Barclays is
got his
beautiful.
my father got his taillights stolen during the San Antonio, New Jersey finals after the Spurs beat us, I think at home. It was game 3 or 4. We went back to the car and my dad's taillights were gone.
Yeah, exactly. And and now where we play in Brooklyn, right? Like, people might think, oh, like Brooklyn, dude, like it's like hipster central. Like, if anything,
Yeah.
it's like a failed social experiment more than anything. But the last thing they
If,
want to do
if,
is like rip your car apart. They
if
don't even know
anything, I'm
we're
getting
playing.
offered I'm getting offered a joint and some blow in Brooklyn.
Yeah, like half the people don't even know we're playing. They're like, "Oh, what are you here for? The Nets?" Oh, yeah. Like, so it's like that's one thing that bothers me, about our fan base is that we did lose so many people, because of that. Because it's ridiculous. It's not like they moved to another state. It's not like the Sonics going to Oklahoma City. We kept the
Right.
team name. We kept the history. We keep the stats. We moved 7 miles away, dude.
We did. It was not a bad move.
No.
Oh wow, yeah, that was. I just RIP to all the people who were Nets fans and they switch sides. Like, don't come back when this team starts to be good in a few years. Last thoughts we got: Raptors 2, Cavs 2. Who moves on from this series? What do you think?
I don't know. So I'm split, and I'm sure you'll understand why. Low key, I want like Cleveland to lose because I feel like we have a chance of getting Mitchell.
You
You
want
don't think?
Mitchell?
I kind of do, dude. I think he's really good. Like every team he's on,
Then
they're always
why
in
does
the
he
play.
flame out every year? He's like Eastern Conference James Harden these days.
That's a good question, but I feel like look, if you have him, re-sign Michael Porter Jr., we're gonna get into who we want in the lottery. Claxton, Sharp, two of the five rookies last year. That's a top six team in the East. And like at least I
Yeah,
think they're at least the top six team in the East with him at the point. And I
yeah.
don't know. He just I'm also don't like what other targets are there for us to get this offseason? There's that part of me that kind of wants him to shake free because I feel like he'd come. A big part of it too is convincing another star to come after what we've been through.
I know why you want him because he's a big Mets fan.
He's a huge Mets fan. I love that
Yeah.
too. Of course. But no, I think he can help us win. And I'm not saying I want
Okay.
him to come in as the top star.
Yeah.
But I think he could be a really good second star with Porter Jr. as a third. And if we get a first guy with a lottery pick, now you're talking about a squad, you
That's an
know?
interesting team. That's an interesting team.
So
I also think like, and we'll get into the lottery in a sec, but I definitely once I know who we're gonna target, then I can say, all right, like we got Bonsa, we got Peter, we got one of these guys. Now let's go get Donnie Mitchell. Like that. I need to see where we're gonna
yeah,
pick before I
that
even.
makes sense.
I'm
But
kind of with
also
you
too, I
though.
just don't
Yeah,
believe in Toronto enough to
yeah,
think that they could win a series. So I think Cleveland squeaks by, but I'll tell you what, I think that shit goes seven, bro. I think it goes
really.
seven. And I think Toronto's like hanging around in game seven till like late in
Okay.
the third, early in the fourth, and then like they just fold.
I think Cleveland takes care of business. I don't think Toronto's a real team. I
That
got
might be the
Cleveland.
first time in the history of sports podcast that somebody has said, I think Cleveland takes care of business. Any sport, let alone basketball.
I mean, there's just nothing about Toronto like scares me. I don't know. We'll see. But I like Cleveland. I think Harden and Mitchell will flex a little bit. Evan Mobley, he can't score 8 points. Like he scored 8 points last game. That's real. And Jared Allen had 3 points. Those two
Yeah,
guys are not
there's
going to
always like a little
combine for
I
11.
don't know how you feel about it too, but like Cleveland, having Jared and Karras for a little bit. They had Kenny Atkinson for a while.
Oh,
Kind of
I root for Jared Allen. It's not like he
yeah, like I
chose
kind
to
of
go to
rooted for them a little
Cleveland.
bit. Like I wanted
Yeah.
them to do good. So I get like there's that angle. Like even now when I see Jared Allen, it's like like it's like seeing like that one chick that you messed around with that everything ended up on really good terms with, and you're just like, hey,
Yeah.
how you doing? Like
They're
I got
cool.
no issues with that girl. Like I love Jared Allen, dude. He's the man.
Also, on the flip side, if the Raptors were to win and you get RJ Barrett playing like big minutes and quickly, and these former Knicks, now imagine this: Raptors move on, Knicks don't. That would be fucking crazy.
That would be really funny from a comedic aspect to troll Knicks fans. Like, look at quickly Barrett running a backcourt in the playoffs, and Brunson and Hart and Bridges are home. That would be a funny
That would
one
be
for sure.
sick. All right, we
Oh,
covered the
football.
Eastern Conference.
Yep.
Detroit and Orlando are playing now, so we're not going to talk about that game. It's Tuesday morning. That game already happened. This next segment, we're going to get into some segments, Justin. This is called Fool Me Once, Shame on You. Fool Me Twice, Shame on Me. Fool Me a third time. Maybe you should stop fooling everyone. Former net Kevin Durant and the Rockets. They're down 3-1 to the Luka Doncic less Lakers. KD has played one game in this series. He got caught on his burner account talking shit about the entire roster earlier this year, and he has yet to get past the second round since leaving the Warriors to join the Brooklyn Nets all those years ago. So he's bounced from Brooklyn to Phoenix to Houston. Justin, at what point does KD look in the mirror and say to himself, maybe I'm the problem?
So this is a little bit of a loaded question.
It
So just
is.
just stick with me here.
I'm with
And
you.
I'm going to be fully honest about my struggle to be objective here. I love Kevin Durant. I know as a Nets fan, that's like a lot of us, we're not supposed to say that, but I love KD. I always have been a big fan of his entire career since he started at Texas. I'm a firm believer that if you held a one-on-one contest of every player that's ever played the game, he'd probably beat everybody except Wemby now, one-on-one, just straight up, just 6'10", 7 foot, plays like a guard. Love his game. So for me, it's always been a little tough to be objective about KD because there's the 10-year-old fat kid in me that just was wearing a super tight Texas jersey and just was in love with this guy, and I followed him forever. But on the flip side, there's no question that he's an absolutely problematic individual. And I'll point to two things that I've read about KD that are definitely verified and true that really tell you all you need to know. So there's a great book about the Warriors dynasty called The Victory Machine by Ethan Strauss. I don't know if you caught that one when it came out. And there's a great excerpt where Steve Kerr, he's trying to get through to Kevin Durant. Couldn't get through to him at all. Like admits it in the book. He's 3 years coaching him, couldn't get through to him. Nothing, no chemistry there, nothing. But at one point, he had this idea. He wanted some Warrior staffers to like find like Joey from San Jose and Kyle from San Francisco and these people that tweet at KD. And he basically wanted to invite like 20 of them to just talk to him. So Kevin Durant could just see what these people look like and just like be like, this is who you're losing sleep over.
Yeah.
These are the people that get to you. But for some reason, bro, he's never been able to just say, I'm Kevin Durant. I make $40 million a year. I'm unquestionably one of the top 10 basketball players of all time. He always feels the need to defend himself. And then another one is there's a great book called Can't Knock the Hustle. It's about our 2020-2021 team
Okay.
and the whole COVID thing and all that. Really good book. And then they talk about how Kevin Durant has a big propensity to basically be an isolationist, for lack of a better term. He'll stay inside his apartment or wherever he's living for days at a time, smoke a ton of weed, tweet, and just get in his own head. And it's sad because like he's amazing, bro. And when he's on, like he's just so good. But yet, this is the third straight team he's just completely sucked the life out of, dude. I mean, in that whole thing, we didn't even mention the whole Phoenix disaster, bro. Like he demanded leaving us to go to Phoenix. And listen, I give him a little bit of a pass for leaving us because he was the last one, dude. He did try to make it work. I don't
I
blame him.
don't have any ill will towards KD leaving Brooklyn. I think it would have been cool if he stayed, but at the same time, I understood the two guys that he vouched for to come here and help him win a championship were both gone. So yeah, I think most Nets fans are in good standing with KD. I
Definitely.
think.
I mean, when he comes
Yeah.
back, I always cheer him. You know,
Yeah.
I still wear my Nets KD stuff. I bought a bunch of it when he signed because I was so hyped. So you know, I'll always have love for the guy, but like you said, dude, like he does have to look in the mirror, and I think it even dates back to, and I'm gonna like low key shut on our own team for a second, but dude, like leaving the Warriors to come to us was a crazy decision. Like it just removing our fandom, just comparing that team to us, dude. Like. That's a historic franchise. You just won two championships. You lost the third because you got hurt. Like, bro, he could have stayed there, rehabbed, won another 3 or 4 rings. And I know his whole thing, he was concerned about the narrative. Oh, like, I went to this loaded team. But you know what, bro? When he retired in 5, 6, 7 years after that, people wouldn't talk about that shit. They'd be like, yo, KD was a 6-time champion who fucking dominated every finals he was in and was a fucking beast. It wouldn't be, oh, but he jumped on this stacked team. Like they always say that in the moment, but the way these things age, bro, it's like no one talks about the Miami Big Three now as if it was like some super stacked team. They're just another great team from our era. And that's exactly but he left them to come to us. And dude, I'm grateful. I love it. It changed literally changed the narrative of our organization and in a positive way. But like, what are you fucking doing? Like, you're leaving the Warriors to come to the Nets, dude, and then you're gonna go to Phoenix and then hot take time here, but he's played his last game in Houston. He's not playing in
Yeah.
Houston next
I
year. I don't know if you think so. He's not playing in Houston next year.
No, so okay, I look at Houston and Brooklyn similarly in the sense that, obviously in Brooklyn, you like the COVID stuff happened, the Kyrie stuff happened. It didn't not work out in Brooklyn for basketball reasons. It was more injuries, it was more like unforeseen circumstances. Him in Phoenix, there were no excuses. Okay, Devin Booker was healthy for the majority of their run together. That team couldn't make noise in the West. So to me, when that happened, I was like, oh, you can't, and this is what I mean by this segment being fool me once. You can't have a team where Kevin Durant is your top option and expect to and not have like a playmaker, a point guard, or someone like I don't know, like the combination of him being that extra scorer to Steph, to Clay, and then to Draymond being essentially the point forward on that team, that worked, but they didn't need Kevin Durant. He was just like the delicious, incredible whipped cream and cherry on top of an ice cream sundae. He goes to Brooklyn. It doesn't work for non-basketball reasons. He goes to Phoenix. Basketball wise, they were not good enough in the West with him and Booker. And I think a few years ago, if you and I had this conversation, be like, of course, him and Booker, top three team in the West. Not the case. They were not that good. So he goes to Houston. And I guess we can look at Houston and say, well, Fred VanVleet got hurt. I personally don't think Fred VanVleet is all that, especially in terms of playmaking and creating offense. He is more of a scoring point guard.
Shout out
But
Tim.
shout out to yeah to Tim the
Shout out Tim
Rockets
with the
guy.
Rockets. Fred VanVleet, baby.
But still,
I mean, I agree
no
for sure.
knowing what
Fred
Kate
VanVleet's like my size, dude. He's like 5'11", 5'10".
and
Like, it's
and
tall
and the
guys.
fact that KD's not even playing in this series because of an ankle, when like let's be real, there's no way he was healthy that year. He led the Nets in the playoffs. He was definitely hurting and he
No.
had ail, but he's still suited up. You're right. He shuts down. He goes into isolation. What was that interview they did with was it Jabari Smith Jr. or someone recently where they're like, "Have you talked to KD?" And they're like, "No, like we haven't. I don't really know what's going on with him. Like we
Yeah,
haven't
like he
talked to him."
doesn't, he's like that, dude. And, like that whole situation with him and the Nets, by the way, whenever they get around to it, 30 for 30, please call me. I'd love to sit and give you all my thoughts, whoever makes that docu first. But man, like he definitely does have some soul searching to do. And I just think that from, obviously we don't know these people, but just from reading, from following his career, my true take on it is I think that KD really doesn't give a fuck about what any like of the pundits think. I think he cares way more about what the average person thinks, like, which is scary. And I really think in his heart of hearts, he knows that there are guys like me who just like, no, like, yeah, KD's the fucking man at ball, even though he's like a weirdo. And I think in a strange way, he's like content with that. Like,
Yeah.
I think that he, like, he's the kind of guy, dude, like, I think when he retires, we're not going to hear from him. Like, when he doesn't have an NBA home, same with Harden. Like, what team is Durant's home? He left on bad terms basically everywhere. Where is he going to go for alumni night? Where is he going to go?
Like what
I mean,
team
he's
is
going to get it.
retiring his jersey? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get his number retired in Oklahoma City and Golden State for what he did there.
I
But
think
both
that's
are going to
it.
be
Yeah.
awkward. Like
Yeah.
like it's not going to be like a normal. Nothing with him is normal, and in a weird way, I think that's like a great way to sum up his career. It's just he had an odd career for a superstar. I it's clear that winning championships is not his clear and sole priority, which in a weird way, like kind of give him props for. Like he just wants to hoop, be left alone. But then like he's got those moments where he like flips out. He's like, "You guys don't know who I am, or you don't know what makes me happy." And it's like, dude, like what's like? So it's like you said, he's fooled a lot of people, but I think that those people that he's fooled are all like what you said, people that think that he should be the lead option on a team and that you can rely on him. And you know what? People always say you can't, but in 2021, like you said, he was fucking hurt. We had no Kyrie, no Harden, and that dude played one of the best playoff games I've ever seen with his toe on the line, 49 points. 16 rebounds, 10 assists. I think he had 4 blocks, 2 steals. And the dude just ran out of gas. Like he came super close to winning a championship. Like we would have destroyed Atlanta.
And we didn't even bring up the injury that he sustained that next season. Was it the next season when Kyrie got traded because he was hurt during that
Yep.
that period? The thing we love about him in Brooklyn is he loved hooping in Brooklyn until it
He
all fell
did.
apart, right? That's what we loved about it. It doesn't seem like he loves it in Houston. It seemed like he was whatever about it in Phoenix, and I think that's what we're getting. And it's gonna hurt his legacy a little bit, but like you said, he doesn't give a shit. He's still Kevin Durant. He's still one of the best bucket getters in the last 25 years of hoops. So
Yeah, I mean, I think in my
yeah,
opinion, he's a top 10 player of all time. I think when I think of Kevin Durant's career, I personally don't think of any of the stupid stuff. I think of
yeah.
him in the back-to-back finals against the Cavs, just completely shitting on LeBron in that one-on-one matchup. You could say whatever you want about the teams or whatever, but they guarded each other. They matched up mano a mano, and he shitted on him. He hit the game-winning three in LeBron's face from the same spot back-to-back years. Didn't even react like a cold-blooded assassin. That's what I remember when I think of KD. And I remember him carrying that Brooklyn team with freaking Blake Griffin and Jeff Green and the likes of those guys almost to a championship. Like he was great, dude. It sucks the way it crumbled, but like you said, he's got a lot going on up there, and I just hope that he chooses the right landing spot to finish out his career. He's 38. I don't think he's gonna play too much longer, so it's like, dude, I think he's done in Houston. I don't know if you think he's done there, but wherever he goes, decides to go next, make it your last stop and pick a good organization, man. Pick a team with some veterans, maybe some guys that you played before you like that you might be a little happier in, and just fucking hoop and call it a day and ride off into the sunset, man.
I have no
Stop tweeting.
idea. Stop tweeting. Maybe. I don't know. I can't even predict where he would go if he does leave. I think he stays in Houston, but that's just me. And that's just total instinct, total guessing. I really have no fucking clue when it comes to Kevin Durant's decision on what he wants to do next. Few more segments, Justin. If you're willing to hang
Oh,
out, I did want to
yeah.
talk about some of these young cats. It was announced that Cooper Flagg won Rookie of the Year over Con Knipple. It was tight, but Flagg edged Knipple out by 26 points in the voting of 100 media members. Flagg received 56 first place votes, with the rest going to Knipple. So, thoughts on could have been a net Cooper Flagg winning Rookie of the Year?
I can't believe they played Noah Traore, bro. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But nah, I mean, I had a feeling they were gonna give it to him because he's the golden boy. And he did some absurd shit at age 18. Like, literally, he's 18, just turned 19 during the season. It's sickening that we didn't get him. It's sickening that Dallas, of all teams, ended up fucking getting him because they deserved him the absolute least. um, like with what they did and the basketball sins they've committed. So like, it sucks. But Knipple's really good too. Typical of the Nets, we don't have either of them. We drafted five rookies and none of them are going to make an all rookie team. So, of course, in this loaded class where you got two guys who had a classic rookie of the year battle and a lot of other guys who are playing well. We talked about Edgecombe earlier, shit like that. Of course, we are reduced to getting excited about some late game explosions from Traore. I know we talked about it a little bit. I'm higher on Yeoman than you are. Um, you don't see any am I crazy? A little, like baby Luca in Yeoman's
No,
game?
you're in the
Don't see like little
majority
baby
of
Luca?
people. You're in the majority of people who saw enough to think that he has some serious potential, and I just didn't see it.
I think that foot injury fucked him up. Like he was playing really well before the foot injury in the rookie wall.
Yeah.
And I think that I give him props for playing through it. He's tough, but I think it like hurt people's evaluations of him because I don't think he was playing 100%. I think early in the year when he was good, I mean, bro, they had to sit him out a couple games to tank. That's kind of a
Yeah.
good indicator. Like when he was healthy, like they're like, no, sit, young buck. You might hit too many threes.
I
Like,
hope I'm wrong. I think the way that they drafted him, where like Nets fans really didn't know where they were going to go at 8. I thought maybe if Fears was there or the guy who went to Washington, was it what's the shooter from Texas who went to
oh,
Washington?
Trey Johnson.
Trey Johnson. So I thought the Nets would get
Yeah.
one of those guys. They both get picked fine. But I don't. So, like, for me, you're going to give me a pick that no one was expecting. I'm going to expect you guys to be the geniuses and this guy ball the fuck out. And it just didn't happen enough for me to get pumped about it. I saw the 3-point stroke. I thought, okay, at the very least, he's Peja Stojakovic, solid player, but cornerstone of a franchise. I just don't know. That to me is still up in the air.
Yeah, no, I mean it is, but it just like I said, what really matters is who we get this upcoming one.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's
that,
really what
that's
matters.
that's a good segue. Because the NBA draft lottery is Sunday, May 10th. It's coming up. It's not this Sunday. It's the next Sunday. It's going to
Horrifying.
determine horrified 3 o'clock Eastern Standard on ABC. Sunday, May 10th determines the first 14 picks of the 2026 draft. So, Justin, my question to you is, where will you be upset as a Nets fan if they fall under? What is that number?
We need to be in the top three.
Top three, not even top four.
Not even top four.
All
No,
right.
no, no, no. It's too critical because, bro, how much do we have to sit through, bro? We've
No,
been
for
through
sure.
too much
Listen,
already.
I'm with you.
Like
So,
we've
so
been
okay.
through too much already, bro. Like here's the way I look at it, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to college basketball, I'm a really big St. John's fan.
Okay.
So, admittedly, outside of St. John's, I do not watch too much college basketball. But this year,
You watched a lot.
specifically, I tuned in more because of the Nets situation.
Lot
Okay?
of BYU basketball, a lot of Kansas, a lot of
Yes,
Duke.
exactly, dude. And there's three guys. That's it. It's AJ, it's Peterson, and it's Boozer. That's it.
Okay.
And now you'll probably understand this better than most. This is what I'm trying to explain to people, but you'll get this fully. The most net guy out of those three guys is fucking Peterson. He's moody, he's erratic. There's stories about whether he actually likes basketball or wants to play, but he's tantalizingly great when he does. Um, there's all these weird stories about, maybe he didn't get as much NIL, so he'd pull himself out of games. Sounds like he's made for the Nets, dude. Like a dramatic figure from the jump. But like he's a monster, dude. And like I'll fucking deal with it if we have him. Like I want Dibansta personally. I think he's the best player in the draft. I think that kid is a beast. He's 6'8". He's a guard. I think he hasn't even reached his ceiling yet. Like I think if we get him, and I like the Boozer kid, man. He's tough. I think he's ready to contribute immediately. I think he's got an NBA body already. He's a big kid. He's real hard body. He willed them to come back against St. John's, no question. So he impressed me a lot in that game. He went up against Zuby Ejiofor, Defensive Player of the Year in the Big East. He might be a first round pick too. He babied him. And Zuby's 23, Cameron Boozer's like 18, 19. He's ready to play. I think he'll average 18 and 9 or 10 as a rookie. So it's got to be one of those three guys, bro. I don't fucking want anybody else. I don't give a shit about the class being deep and oh, whoever gets the seventh pick is getting somebody good to. No, bro, bullshit. I want one of the top three guys for the first time probably ever since Derek Favors, dude.
Derek
Derek
Favors. Yeah, yeah,
Favors
yeah,
is the
yeah.
only
Derek.
one. Like we took second overall and we took fucking Derek Favors, bro. Like you know what I mean? Like it's time that we get a top three pick, somebody that could really make a fucking difference, that can contribute and start. And like I said, Peterson is probably the most net-like in terms of character and behavior. But I'm just one of those three guys, man. What about you? You think we're okay outside of that?
No, no, I wouldn't go to. I think Caleb Wilson out of UNC. I watched a few of his games before he got hurt. I think he can be a big deal in the NBA. Because he's got the athleticism, he's got the soft touch. He's also just a monster on the boards, but he's kind of a tweener. Like I think he's in between a small forward and a power forward, so I don't necessarily love that. Um, I like Boozer just for his size and his overall strength. I know my boy is going to kill me for saying this because I said this on a few weeks ago and he absolutely obliterated me. But like, I see his ceiling being a Tim Duncan-esque type of player
I
who's
see
not
it.
necessarily, he's not going to be the quickest guy. He's not going to, beat you down with one thing, but his IQ is so high and he's so
He's in the
strong
right
that,
spot every single time. He's strong as an ox. He's got touch around the basket. That's not a crazy comparison at all. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
like the only thing I don't see that he has is Tim Duncan's like freaky athletic defensive range.
right,
Like I can't see Boozer, ripping our souls out like Duncan did in game 6 against us with like a
right.
quadruple double, like blocking 10 shots, like doing a Wemby before it was a Wemby. But everything else you said, like the intangibles, the IQ, being a team
Yeah.
player, being a smart guy, and like I said, he's always in the right spot. It just seemed like he tormented St. John's. I mean, he's literally the reason why we didn't advance.
No,
And
he
you
had a
know,
stellar season. I mean, if it wasn't like if the Bonsa and Peterson weren't in this draft, he'd be the clear cut number one. For me, I'm with you. If I had to choose, I would choose DeBonsa out of the three guys, just because he did it the most consistently. He can score at all three levels. He's a matchup nightmare, and he just has a very good feel for the game in terms of where to go on the floor. But the best basketball player when he was on that I watched this season was Darren Peterson. And when he was cooking, I said, "Holy fuck, this is the best dude I've seen coming out since Kobe." And obviously Kobe didn't play in college. I get that, but just like you saw glimpses of when Peterson was doing his thing, you said, "Oh, this guy is going to be a superstar." I didn't say that as much with DeBonsa until later on in the season when Peterson was sitting out and DeBonsa really just like put together a ton of 20, 25 point games. He was really consistent. But at both their peaks, no one in college basketball could touch Darren Peterson when he was on.
listen, man, I agree with you. Like I said, I think he's freaking amazing. If we got him, I'll probably have his t-shirt jersey within 2 weeks of the draft, but I'll be scared as shit. I mean, my son will probably have a Darren Peterson onesie, but I'll be horrified about it. And it's just because he's one of those guys. But like I said, I mean, perfect net, right? Like
Perfect net.
he fits the culture,
And
So
and listen, all those years ago, Kobe didn't want to come here. Kobe did not want to play here. He literally said, "If the New Jersey Nets draft me, I'm going to Italy to play basketball." So can't we just get the Cooper flag? Can't we just get the fucking number one, number two? Like that's all I want,
one
man.
time,
That's
dude.
all I want.
Just one
Last
time.
last thing I wanted to ask about this is, okay, so you top three. The one guy I was a little bit like somewhat excited about, and I kind of soured after watching this Knicks series with Brunson, was Darius Acuff Jr. Does anything about his game, the point guard out of Arkansas, excite you? You're like, I don't want a small guard. I don't want to be this defensive, efficient team at the point guard position where it's just one small guy gets buckets, but he's a cone on defense.
Yeah, nah, I don't. I think he's great, but I don't have interest in it. I think when I was younger, I used to like a lot of those guys. Acuff reminds me of like a Derrick Rose, Russell
Yep.
Westbrook. Like those young, athletic, like really jumpy point, and they're fun to watch and shit. But like now that I'm like old and a dad, and I just want to win, like just play normal basketball, man. Like just get me a kid that's gonna come in here and play like a Boozer, or a Dibanza that's gonna just play the right way. Now listen if we get, fucked like we always do and end up with the ninth pick, like, because that would be I'm knocking on wood, but that would be the Nets thing to do is, we get the ninth pick and, Miami or something gets the freaking first pick or something retarded like that. So that would suck, but I'm really hoping that we don't end up in that spot. But if we do, I'm sure it'll be exciting. I mean, I'm sure he'll have some moments where we'll talk ourselves into it. We're like, oh, freaking Acuff. Like, I'm sure he'll go off on some nights and be the man. But like, I want one of the big three, dude. I want Boozer, like you said, dude. It's time for us to get one of those
To get
top
one of the
guys and
guys.
just, like we've been tanking forever. We don't own our pick next year, as everybody knows. There's no incentive to tank next year. We have to be good next year, dude. Like,
Yeah, and
that's it.
the other thing about Acuff Jr. is we have Traore, who's a point guard. We just drafted. Joman can play a little point guard.
Yeah,
If you take Peterson, he's a shooting guard, but it's like you don't need a true point guard.
no. And even, I mean, a lot of times they run the offense through Porter. Porter brings the
Yeah,
ball up. He
yeah.
brings the ball up too. So they're good with that. I mean, that's why I think any of those guys, but I really want Boozer at that message. Just 'cause like I said, Peterson might be a beast, but he scares the crap out of me, bro. He might be a real moody guy.
All right. Anybody outside the top three, Justin's going to be annoyed. I'm with you. I think I'll extend to four, but I think anything outside the top four, I'll be annoyed.
Yeah, I'll be pissed.
Um, All right, next segment. Love it or hate it. Potential change to the NBA draft lottery that's apparently getting a ton of buzz to quote unquote end tanking. The change would be the lottery goes from 14 to 18 teams. Bottom 10 teams have an 8% chance of top pick. Remaining 20% would be divided among the remaining eight teams. What do you think?
Sounds like a lot
Love
of
it or hate it?
math.
Yeah.
It sounds like a lot of math.
I think it's just giving more teams a chance to have a good lottery pick.
I think that would be counterintuitive, and you would just have more teams tanking because you would just
Yeah.
have 10 teams being like, yeah, let's try to get that 8% chance. That's a real good shot. I mean, dude, like the lottery as a concept in general is pretty stupid. I don't know how they could really fix it. Um, the only, and this is gonna sound wild, the only like real good theory that I've heard as outlandish it is Bill Simmons like 8 years ago said that like they should just rotate the lottery every year. Just 30 teams each year. We know who has the first pick 8 years out in advance, 10 years out in advance. Like we started from, he said, I think whoever the first like six teams were, like the original teams, would have like the last picks. So like, and like whoever the newest team, and you just so like in 10 years it'd be our year, baby, and we just hope like somebody's there. But like, dude, like the lottery's stupid. Like, there's no other league that does their draft like this. Like, I don't really know how you fix it. I've always thought that maybe a good way to do it would be give the first overall pick to the team that misses the playoffs by the first game.
Yeah, but then the worst teams are never going to get better.
I don't feel bad for them. We've been bad forever. No one gives a shit about us, dude.
But all right, on the flip side, like you have the Sixers who literally did the process for years to get Fultz, Embiid, and Ben Simmons. Like that's not fair. I mean, obviously one of those guys panned out, but like that's still
Yeah.
not. I don't know. I don't know. I agree with you. There's not an. I don't think this is the answer. I mean that rotating first pick is interesting. I don't hate that.
Yeah, it's like
Um,
because like it's such a weird like how do you do it? Like because teams are always gonna tank. I mean, like I said, maybe you got to do something to incentivize the teams to compete more. I know they tried with the play-in game, but that doesn't do it. Three teams having the same chance. I don't know if you want to do 10 teams having an 8% chance. I just think that's going to be a third of the league tanking.
I mean, I wouldn't hate a tournament at the very end of the year after the season for like the bottom eight teams to play, right? Because then you can't tank.
I'd
Then you
watch that. Yeah,
got
the winner gets the
I
first
who,
pick.
bro? If it was us, the Bulls, the fucking Pelicans, like any team that didn't make the play in, like fucking let us all play each other, right? Come
Yeah,
on, that'd be
put it on
awesome.
NBA TV at 10 o'clock on a Tuesday.
I know Adam Silver likes money.
Yup. They can
All
stream it
right.
on Peacock.
Stream it on the cock. All right, Nets trivia. So I have an easy, medium, and hard for you. I'm gonna let you pick which one, because we're gonna do one. But you're a diehard Nets fan. I think you're gonna get all three of these. But tell me which one you want me to ask, and I will ask it. Easy, medium, or hard.
Rip all three. Let's do
You
all
want to
three.
rip all three?
I'll
All
rip
right.
all three. It's my
Here's the
debut.
first one. So you get three clues, and then you got to guess. Or I guess you can guess after the first or second clue, but I'll give you all three. I played with the Nets from 1997 to 2004. I came off the bench to help provide a pivotal scoring punch during the early Nets runs to the NBA Finals in the 2000s. I used to ride the stationary bike on the sidelines a lot before and after entering the game.
Gray Nets jerseys. I'm going Lucius Harris.
All right, that is correct. Lucius Harris is the answer. That's the easy
Lucius.
one. Now,
There's never been another guy named Lucius either, so I love that guy.
also, who else rode the bike as much as Lucius?
Yeah,
Like, that
that
was
was
his
the
thing,
giveaway.
dude.
Yeah, Lucius was just hopping on it. He had to keep moving, bro. I could see Juan doing that.
Yeah. Shout out McKay Park. All right, this is the
Oh yeah.
medium one. I played with the Nets from 2004 to 2007, my final 3 seasons in the NBA. While I only averaged 6.9 points and 4.1 rebounds per game with the Nets, my career averages were 14.2 points per game since I did my majority of scoring in the beginning of my career, where I played in Portland. I passed away on August 29th, 2020, at the age of 53. Who am I?
Well, considering I just watched the Jailblazers on Netflix last week, that's got to be my man, old man Cliff Robinson, bro. He was hanging around the Nets for years. I remember being at a game at the Continental Airlines Arena. I thought he was going to drop dead on the floor. He was so old. He was
Uncle
having a tough time
Cliff.
getting up and down the floor. I loved Uncle Cliff.
He was a good Nets player. He's a good veteran, just on
He
the
hung
on
in
those
there. I
like
mean,
big
yo, he
starting
like
twins.
stayed on the team for like I think like
Yeah,
3 years past his
he's
expiration date.
there for
So
3 years.
shout out.
All
All
right,
right, two
this
for
is
two.
say it again. You're 2 for 2. This is the
Two
hard
for two.
one,
Okay.
and you're doing much better than my brother, by the way. Nick, who's 2 years younger than me, he's been a Nets fan just as long as I have. He never gets these. He's so bad with them. So I give you a lot of credit for knowing more than the part-time
I like
co-host of the
trivia. I'm
show.
good with trivia.
This is good. I think you're going to get this one too. I only played 1 year with the Nets in the 2018-2019 season. I was a big man who came off the bench, known for my rebounding ability and skill set to score primarily only in the paint, similar to Dayron Sharp. I have a third clue, but I think you can get it with these two. I'll give you the third clue if you can't get it. Came off the bench, known for his rebounding ability and ability to score in the paint, similar to Dayron Sharp. He only played 1 year with Brooklyn and 12 years in the NBA total.
I'm gonna go, and this is strictly off of you giving me the hint of playing like Dayron Sharp. I'm gonna go with Ed Davis.
That is correct.
Let's
Ed
go,
Davis.
Ed Davis. That was a
Pretty
great
much.
If you didn't give me that hint though, I'm not getting that because he literally played just like him. He's like 6'9", lefty, hustle guy. He's like a little light skin. I remember Ed Davis. Yeah, I remember that guy.
I was the last clue was he went to UNC.
Yeah, I remember him.
That was the last
Yeah.
clue.
And
Ed
then he hung
Davis.
around. I think he was on the team for the beginning of the D'Angelo year, and then I don't think he made it through the end of that season with us. I think, but yeah, 2018, 2019. So D'Angelo was there.
3 for 3. That's pretty good.
Let's go.
You know your nuts trivia. All right,
I'll
man. Well,
take it.
thank you to everyone who listened. I'm out next week on vacation, so no episode, but we'll be back on May 11th for a reaction to the draft lottery. Justin, thank you so much for coming. Is there anything that you want to plug on the show before we end it for the night?
I just want to thank you for having me, man. This was a blast for sure. It was great talking Nets. You know, like I said, it's real niche community. It's not a lot of us, so it's good when you get to, talk Nets ball with somebody else. So I just appreciate you having me on, man. And whenever you want me back on, you just let me know, bro. I'm here, man. That was awesome.
Well, that was my next question. I was going to make you commit to coming back on the show so we can do this again.
100%. I'm 100% be back. Got to
All
come
right.
back. That was great.
There you heard it, Justin G. That is another edition of Spenny and the Nets, episode 251. Thanks to everyone for listening, and bye bye.